Ditto, brother.
Yeah. Hi, Ron.
Probably looks like Spencer.
Yep. Yeah, the weapon beat it there. Mm-hmm.
Hi, Mark.
Let me get my buttons all put together. We got to make Mark big, Ron. So I slide him over here. There's our featured guest right there, Ron. Mr. Ulmer, welcome to Tuesday night. We call this Outlawed with Ron Stone, and you're our first legend, right, Ron? Is that how we're rolling this out?
That's true. We're rolling out the Legends series. So you are numero uno in the Legends shows here. We do have a young gun coming on after you, though, Mark. So
that's good. Yep. Well, thank you much, guys. No.
We still have a bunch of those young guns left to do yet. So we're going to bring Burgundy Freeze on here after your interview. But how are you doing tonight?
I'm doing fine. How are you guys all?
Doing well.
Mark, you got to tell us what Rob Russell said to you. So, this is awesome.
Well, I had a call from Rob Russell yesterday, and he had seen I'm going to be on this show, and he goes, "Make sure you don't tell all the stories that we had hiding in the wings." So yeah. So anyhow, yeah. But he did remind me of something pretty neat, and he said, he asked me if I knew when the first time that I met him, and I said, "Nah, I can't really remember," And he goes, "Well, it was 1985 at Davenport, Iowa. I had worked on a tractor for Lyle Nelson out of Bolus, Nebraska, and we were actually trying it out and seeing if it would run. And it didn't run very good, but that's when me and Rob Russell first met, I guess. So because he was intrigued with a little bit of the stuff I had done to that tractor, and from then on, we kind of became friends and still are. So, yep.
Good deal. And you both have championships this year. There's nothing wrong with that. So.
Yep, that's very true too. And we called each other the day we won each of them. Yep. So
that's awesome.
Yep. So was Rob somewhat a member of the Ulmer Mafia at one time? Then is what we're saying, or?
Well, I had worked like his 3688 tractor, the workhorse, probably in 1988. I made all the sheet metal and stuff for that tractor. And then, so we run around together back in the NTPA days quite a bit. And then, I built his sheet metal for his Magnum workhorse tractor too in the 90s. Cool. So anyhow, yeah, I don't know if I can call him the Ulmer Mafia because Robbie's, he's a standout on his own. He's a leader in his own respect. So
yeah. The fewer people you keep in that inner circle, the better, though, Mark. I mean,
well, Yeah, it didn't hurt anything. Yeah. No.
So, how many championships do you have, Mark, to your credit? I mean, not just with the Outlaws, but with other organizations you've run with over the years.
Oh boy. I don't know. With the South Dakota tractor pullers way back when, we won numerous times then already in the 70s and 80s. And region stuff, we started doing NTPA stuff, in the 80s there, but we never made it to all of them, you might say. We really only started running NTPA stuff seriously in 92, 93, 94.
Okay.
And I think the best we did then, I rode around with Esden 1 year or 2 years. We were partners. And 1 year I rode around with Robbie, honestly. And I think I got third was the best in the 7,500 pound class at NTPA, third and fifth, stuff like that. So could never quite get ahead of all them guys. So they were.
Mark, for everybody that doesn't know you, can you kind of start at the beginning and talk about your pulling career, like how it got started, and then just take us through the years? Because, I mean, I know who you are. Ron knows who you are, but there's a lot of people watching tonight that don't know you are, but they might know you are, but they don't know you have a tremendous history and you're a humble guy. And I know you don't like to brag, but you've done some cool shit in pulling, Mark. And I want the world to know. I want the world to know. So.
Yeah. Well,
So Ulmer, brag a little bit. We want you to brag.
God, no, can't do that. No, that comes back to haunt you. So, yeah. Oh, we started, the local county fair thing in the 70s with my dad. My dad started with an Oliver. Yeah, is where I think I won my first trophy in 1973, and it was a second place trophy. And I remember so well telling him on the way home, well, that ain't going to happen again. So we're going to try to do better than that. So then we ran around that way with a farm tractor, got married in 78 to my wife, Cindy.
What is she? Okay. Like, does she remember going to her first pull thinking, oh man, I'm going to marry that big stud someday? Or how'd that all go around?
Oh, I don't know about that. Her dad didn't care for tractor pulling too much. So he thought it was a waste of money. So
it is. It's full disclosure.
But I think she enjoyed it. Yeah, we never hit a big circuit, you might say, just South Dakota, Nebraska, Iowa. We'd pick up on local stuff, but then we kind of outgrew the Oliver in the late 70s. I built a 270 white as a light super, no more farm tractor type deal. Well, we all know what happens to Waukesha motors when you push them. It blew up big time, about costing me my pulling career, honestly. So then I actually ran around with my brother Kurt with Sweet Pain Modified for a few years, and we did quite a bit of region stuff. I do believe Sweet Pain was a region champion back then, and between the two of us, we campaigned it, and it was either a single engine supercharged or we actually ran it twin motors for a while, and then I decided every time a modified would pull, you had to hold your ears. But when a good old 1066 would hook on the sled, it was like, wow. So that's when we kind of had started working on super stocks across the country. And we have had, I don't know, quite a few different ones. I would buy tractors that were like Walt Rohr's tractor. I bought it blown up and fixed it up and sold it again. It actually went to Frank Standard in Nebraska, and then he actually sold it to Lock and Load. So, so we have ties that way. Worked with Rob Russell, worked with Esden Lean, made parts for Danny Dean.
Wow.
All those guys went from the 9,000 pound class down to the 7,500 pound class. And I had access to machine equipment where my brother worked in a local shop up here. The owner, I grew up with him and stuff. So we've been lightening tractors up since the mid 80s, Gerald Grimes's little varmint John Deere.
Yep.
We redid all that and made it light and made it very competitive because everybody said a John Deere couldn't have enough front end weight. Well, back then he did very well, and it's actually out in California right now running yet.
Wow.
And the Herb brothers have it, from what I know. And So, I mean, it just extended Blagraves. I did all their lightning work when they went to the 7,000 pound class on Stan's tractor, and actually took the parts down to Texas and spent 2 weeks with them and helped them put it together and everything. So, Jerry Van Dorp, Screaming Demon, I did all the frame, lighting the rear end, did all that stuff for him, and became very good friends with Jerry.
So you've touched a lot of, I would say, famous diesel supers. I mean, legendary names, Mark.
Yes, we have.
So
yeah, we've been privileged to do that, but we always were intrigued enough to do that on our own, you know, and instead of calling all the major providers of them parts, you know. And there were certain things that we did that other people didn't do, and got by making it work, you know. Used to upset Robbie Russell when I'd buy his old junk parts and then I'd beat him with them. So he didn't care for that too much. But yeah, we'd make that work once in a while, you know. So anyway, yeah. So
I think you've kind of got the reputation for making stuff work that's not supposed to work. From the short time I've been around the Outlaws, that's kind of like a reputation you have, Mark, is just put things together and you know what you're doing, and you seem to make things work.
Yeah, we've been lucky that way, but yeah, we kind of had to learn everything the hard way, you know. I mean, it didn't come easy. You gotta, behind my shop about 100 yards, there's a pile of junk that's unbelievable. and that's my schooling. I never did go to college, I'm self-taught and all this stuff, machinist and everything. And so we've just over the years figured out what it took, and there's certain things you got to buy that always worked, and got taught that from a few of those high dollar professionals, and the same thing, it was always pretty easy to try to beat them guys. So yeah, so
lots of stories in that all those pieces of junk you were just talking about behind the shop, I'm sure.
Yeah, there is. Yeah, a few of them probably aren't all legal, but yeah. But yeah,
the 7 years of statute of limitations have wore off, Mark. You're safe.
Well, good. Yeah, that's a good deal. So yep, no. Yeah, because I mean, one time it was kind of comical. Robbie actually, I think he pitched his flywheel off out in New York, honestly. And it was on the weekend before Iowa State Fair. I remember that. And he called me from New York and was wondering if there'd be any chance I could get that put back together for him, you know, by the Iowa State Fair on, God, I think it was midweek, like a Thursday or something that time. And I said, well, all we can do is try. And sure as heck, he got to my house and we got it tore apart, and we actually tipped the motor upside down, took the crankshaft out without taking the head off, and got the crank out, got it resurfaced, the back of it, and resurfaced the flywheel, got it put back together, and drove all night and made it to Iowa State Fair. It was either Wednesday morning, and that's when his competition realized who Mark Ulmer was, because they all figured he was done for the year. And here he showed up, and I think we honestly won the class that afternoon when we come back with it. So, I think he went on to a points title that year with that 3688. So that's when Esden Lean and everybody got a little more faith in what I did. So yeah. So
the questions are rolling in, Mark.
Yeah, they are.
Kristen Lean Weinsenkamp, Mark says, "What project are you most proud of?"
Oh, that's a pretty easy one. The weapon. So
okay,
yeah, that one was handmade, and I got told by many of even my family members that the weapon was never going to work, you know, and boy, it's had a career that's almost second to none. So yeah,
kind of go into that, why people didn't think it would work, Mark.
Well, the things we were doing to the rear end to lighten it up, and just the horsepower. I was going to try and run a 4 turbocharged diesel motor that we knew made, you know, 2,500 to 3,500 horsepower. They said there's just no way that'll ever work, you know, and it'll never stay together. Well, we've had very little breakage with what we did, and that when we did, we were able to fix it and change it and make it just that much stronger. And actually, that tractor. Now I'm going to brag a little, Schultz.
I want you to. This is your time, Mark.
It's probably only running at 75% capacity of what it could. We don't even have it cranked up or anything, so like it could. So what we know to do with lost motor and that, we could turn her a lot harder yet. So, but
that's awesome.
So far we've gotten by really good with the way it's setting. So yep.
Now, that tractor, you mentioned 4 chargers. How many chargers are you running right now on that tractor?
That's still got 4 on it. Yeah.
4
Okay.
on it. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, that's your wife's tractor.
Yeah. My wife is telling me that's her tractor. So yeah. So I was going to sell it one time, and I told her that I had it sold, and she said, "Well, no, you're not. I'll buy it." And I go, "Okay." I said, "Well, you got 50,000 for your half," and she says, "You've already gotten that, so don't worry about it. It's all hers." So yeah.
That's awesome.
So, but no, that one's worked really good. Yep.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Lots has been fun. I haven't had a bad pull-in tractor though. I mean, just like people are.
Yeah, you always told me the white was your.
Yeah, but even my early days, they were still fun. It's what led up to the being what I am now. You had to go through all that because we always were off the wall stuff. We pulled an Oliver. Well, you couldn't go to Hypermax and buy Oliver parts. So a lot of that we learned on our own. So we had a lot of learning, but it's come together really good.
Was your dad, did you guys just grow up tinkering in the garage? Your whole family's like the motorheads.
Yeah.
The whole mafia. So
I always called my dad a torch and welder man. He wasn't afraid to try stuff like that either,
That's cool.
On the farm and everything. And then we just took it to the next level,
Yeah, you did. Like to the highest level possible.
Yeah, the machine shop side of it came natural for myself and my brother Gary. He actually worked at Wildcat Manufacturing. So we had access to the turning lathes and the mills and all that stuff. And that's where I got my how I lighten these housings. I actually used their radial arm drill because people would wear out 5 grinders grinding a piece of cast iron off. Well, I just set it up in a big old radial arm drill that we used when he made snow blowers at his manufacturing plant. And I just drill holes right through it, and people would, like, I can remember Danny Dean saying, "How do you do that?" Because they're the same on both sides. I said, "Well, it's easy. It reaches way through." We just drill the whole way through, And so that's all worked out really good. So yeah.
You're mentioning these techniques to lighten the rear end, like on the weapon. Are these techniques being used now since you've started doing that?
Yeah. Yep. That's a pretty common deal now. We've done quite a few housings, and I've actually got quite a few more to do this winter here for people. And but yes, pretty much a radial arm drill or a CNC machine now has taken over.
Hello.
Right.
Yeah.
Just like Profab putting a Profab in a clutch housing, IH clutch housing. The first ones.
Text Uncle Kurt.
Robbie Russell had one of the first Kipley transmissions, and we did it in our shop. And we actually, the old torch and welder and grinder and chop saw and to make room for that housing to fit in there. Well, now it's easy to just set up a CNC program and go down inside and turn it on that night, and the next morning it's done. So it's changed it a lot. So yeah. But anyhow, yeah.
Russ wants to know, what was your favorite pass of all time? Do you have a favorite, or if you don't have a single favorite, Mark, just maybe your most memorable?
Well, it's pretty hard to beat. It's pretty hard to beat the Wisner, Nebraska runs I've had, with the weapon or the Ford. But I have to admit, today down there at at Manila, Iowa, with the Ford, we actually did chase the girls out of the registration booth.
Yes, you did. Let's talk about today.
That one there was quite memorable because we were trying a little different fuel setup on it, and it didn't want to run at first. People thinking I was doing that on my own, and well, then I realized that I couldn't let Dennis Beck beat me that way, So we actually pulled the fuel shut off to lean the thing out to get her to come upstairs, and it did, and I pushed it back in going down the track. And then it flooded it again. So then I pushed the clutch down, and then that little girl came to life. And next thing, we were sitting at 400 feet, and the girls were running out the north end of the booth. So
the eco tuning booth. So I gotta play the video. Mark, I want you to say, "Let's talk about today."
Yeah, let's talk about today.
Okay, I gotta play it.
Yesterday, how did you do?
I got second place. I lost by 4 feet.
And today?
I was 700 pounds light because I didn't really know the weight of the tractor, and it was the first time I ever pulled her. And today
Today.
Well, let's talk about today. I put her in a 16,000 pound class. I put her in turret gear. They were all 280, 290. One was 310, maybe 312.
And you were?
I put her right at 370 feet, right in the sand pond. The only mistake I made, I didn't put her right in the registration booth with the girl.
So I'm pretty sure when Ron was announcing that night, I think he said the eco tuning booth. I really, if I was watching that on the live stream,
I think
it was
so,
like
yeah.
it was super late because that's the one that got rained.
It got rain, and man, you got to tip your hats to Jeff and that crew that even pulled it off because
you went like 4 something, Mark.
yeah, it was like
4:14
or yeah, and we actually backed out of it because when I seen the girls take off, I said, well, this is enough. We got to quit. Yeah. So
Yeah, I think I actually made a comment when I was announcing that too bad the girls in the registration booth didn't have some marshmallows in there as you were burning off some excess alcohol.
That's what it was.
yeah, I don't doubt it. Yeah.
Love it.
It was kind of muddy, and we ended up, there was a drive lane beside the booth to the left, and about the last 30 feet of the pass, the darn little bugger took a little bit right turn, and I'm thinking, shoot, man, there ain't no way we're going by the booth. So we just started backing out of it. And yeah, it was on a roll like unreal.
So Grandpa Mel says Mark is the best, and so do I. That's from Tyler.
Oh, that's Grandpa Mel Nelson. Yeah, that was Lyle's son. And
yeah, we've had them on the show, right?
Yep, Tyler and Haley.
Yep,
his granddaughters. Yep. Yeah, we grew up together. I beat Lyle Nelson's 806 with an Oliver, which was unheard of.
He
way
probably
back
didn't
in
like
the
that.
70s, and introduced him to favorite food in this area, Chislik. And boy, we hit it off, and we've been friends forever. So yeah,
that's awesome. Jeff May's got 2 questions here for you, Mark. Who inspired you the most in the pulling world? So let's answer that first.
Oh boy,
It's okay to say me, Mark. I mean, I know it's
you don't let me work on your tractor though, so I don't know. You're going to come in second.
I probably should.
And Stone, I seen him drive. I don't know about that. I think we put him on the weapon, we'd have problems. So, yeah.
Hey, now you already offered that up, Mark. Now,
I know I did. Yeah, you're welcome to it. Yeah,
Ron, the other brake. If you want to go right, press the right brake, not the left one.
Gotcha.
Yeah, that's going to happen a little faster than the one that you were on.
A little.
Gosh, I don't know who would inspire me.
Well, just maybe who's some people you've looked up to over the years, Mark?
Oh, Lyle Nelson was one of them. I have to admit.
I have to admit, I love that.
He taught me a lot. So yeah, he always told me, do your hardest work first, and the rest comes easy. And I've never forgot that. So, Esden Lee and me are real good friends. Robbie, there's just numerous. So yeah, I would have to say all them above, everybody. I just appreciate all of them. So
you're what we call a name dropper, Mark. Like you're saying like my heroes' names. I just love it. I love it. He also wants to know who was the one person you always wanted to beat.
Oh boy, probably myself. I always wanted to do better every time.
Yep.
We had a really good time with Coleman Wheatley. We all remember Coleman Wheatley.
Yeah.
And he had 2 tractors, and that was in 94, I think. And it was just comical because he would beat himself with his one tractor, and that one would be, we were in a points race together for his second, third, and fourth with our 3 tractors. And he ended up actually, we would tease each other and sit around, and I would say, to him, Coleman, you got to quit beating yourself. You're going to let me win this thing, And it turned out to be quite a little game we played. And I ended up, he did beat himself at Inwood, Ontario, Canada. And I ended up getting 3rd, and he got 4th out of the deal because he beat himself with the wrong tractor. So I guess Coleman. But then that winter, I drove his tractor at Louisville for him. He had a heart attack, and I ended up winning the class during the week at Louisville with his tractor. I beat Esden Lee. He got 2nd. So it was quite a deal how it all turned out. Yeah. So
that's pre roll cage, isn't it, Mark? 94?
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it was right the year before it. Yep.
Wow.
Because they were talking about how they were going to make them and all kinds of things at that time. Yep. That's awesome. Winter. Yes. So yep.
Steve Deckinger says Mark is a legend, and I'm lucky you are my friend. Great to hear you talking pulling. So
Yeah. Well,
You
thank
owe
you,
him.
Steve.
You owe him $20, Ulmer.
Yeah, that's all right. Yeah. So, yeah.
Kevin Davis says, "Looking good, Mark Ulmer."
Well, he needs better glasses. So
Cody says Manila was a good pass for sure. I think he's got some good pictures of that. So
Well, you finished. Didn't you finish 1-2 at Manila,
yeah,
Mark?
yeah, we did.
You talked about beating yourself. I mean, that's actually a real thing for you, running 2 tractors in the same class. You finish 1-2 quite often. So
Yeah, we did. The last couple of years, we have been on a roll with those 2 tractors. Yes, and yeah, I think I don't know how many we won. It's a bunch. So and the other one's been right behind it all the time. Yeah. So
do you have a trophy room in the house there, Mark?
no, I don't. You know, my wife doesn't.
he has a
want
trophy
that.
house. He has another
Yeah,
house.
and doesn't. Yeah.
Put one up out
I've
the
got.
farm.
I live in Menno, and my farm is east and south where Tyler lives on the farm. It's getting full of them, but I gave a bunch of them away already, or I have been giving some away. I've even given a Thunderbolt away already. So
Holy cow!
And we're gonna give more away. I think I have 6 of them already. So we're gonna pick out young kids and make their day. So yeah,
You are.
so,
Dennis Beck says, "I'll take third to those Ulmer tractors any day."
yeah. Well, his tractor's coming around really good, so we're hoping to see it do a lot better things than he has. So yeah.
I'm gonna go searching through Facebook and see if I can find that video that we've.
You've got a hand in working on that tractor as well, don't you, Mark?
Yeah, I kind of got him lined up with buying it with Remmers, Gary, and Landon down there, and showed interest in it. And I know Dennis wanted to. He had a tractor and then sold it, and he was wanting to go in the light super. So I kept telling him it'd be a good ride, you know, but he'll never beat me. So that was where I wanted him. But anyhow, yeah, it just needed more movable weight, and it's going to get more for next year. It runs good and very good people. Him and Taryn, I hope she can handle it for the young gun deal. I hope she can. So
she's got her fire suit. We saw that on Facebook.
She got her fire suit. Yeah,
She's fired up. She is ready.
Yep.
Tristan says, "Where will Lost be next year, Mark?"
Oh, it's still in the barn. We're actually, I was going to put Lost in bring it back out in the unlimited light super stock class is what my goal was. But we're actually building a whole new chassis, whole new diesel unlimited light super is what we're building. But it's going to have your hoods on it there, Schultze.
Yeah.
D21. Nice.
I love it. I love it.
Yep. We're going D21 with it. So.
Oh, that's going to be awesome.
Yep. So,
how many tractors do you have there in the barn?
I don't know if the world needs to know that. I think there's 6 roll bars in there right now. So, yep.
Okay.
So,
that's
with the mini
awesome.
rod? 5 roll bars. Well, there's
4 big tractors, 1 little one.
We've got Lost, the weapon, and the Ford.
Yep.
And now the Alice Chalmers are all in there. And then
I'm proud.
we've got David Anderson's tractor.
Ooh.
I'm working on it, lightening it up a little bit for him. We're building a new John Deere for the light super for Jeremy Paulson from Schleswig, Iowa.
You heard it here first, Ron. This is like breaking news. I need like a breaking news sound.
This is. So there'll be a light super John Deere alky burner for him, and then we have one that is going to surprise a lot of people. So there's going to be another Alice Chalmers coming out of my shop in the light super for Braden and Brian Schrammick. Oh.
Ooh, what a name dropper! You know
Brian.
All the cool people, Ulmer. You know all the cool people.
I've known Brian since he pulled one of the first times when he came with Brad Howell back in the day and bought his tractor, and we ran around together, and so we've always kind of been tied together a little bit for a long time. So and watched him go. He started out real easy to beat, you might say.
Yep.
And boy, when I quit, he came alive like unreal. And then through the 2000s, you know, unbeatable with the young blood. And now his Alice block theory has always been a little sore subject with him when the Hypermax block came out or the 4-bolt main IH block did. And then he can't keep his together as a diesel super anymore. He was putting a new block in every 5, 6, 7 runs, you know. And so one day he called here a couple of years ago and he goes, he was wondering what class he could retire as a diesel super motor or an actually Alice super with an Alice block on diesel fuel, you know. And I said, well, that's a no-brainer. It's a light super in Outlaw because it doesn't seem to be near as hard on parts. And anyhow, with that being said, he said, well, start figuring out what it's going to take. And so we're hoping to have it on the track this summer for him.
That's awesome.
They're actually taking the diesel super motor out of Legacy, and it's going into a cast iron light super chassis. So, yep.
That's
and
awesome.
I do believe it'll be I'm not sure what hoods they're going to run for sure. They hadn't decided yet, but I think it might be a D21. So anyhow, yeah. So we're really looking forward to light super class next year. So
It's going to be amazing.
Yeah.
And did you take a peek at the schedule at all, Mark? How many light super hooks there are for you
I
guys?
did. Yeah. There's around 20. Yeah. 19, 20. There's a couple of towns that have called and wanted to add it, you know. And
After tonight, Mark, you're going to be at every hook. Every hook.
Well, I don't. No, we're not.
No, we're not.
No, we're not. Yeah, but yeah.
Van Beek says, I remember I told Mark that pull in Manila. I said, don't hit my trailer and protect the girls. And he said, I will.
Yeah, I did. Yeah. Yeah.
The comments, Ron, these are the most comments we've ever had. This is awesome. So I can't keep up with all of them. Burgundy Freeze, who's going to be our young gun here after Mark. It was always fun when we had the old red ink. Dad, Mark, and Chuck would go back and forth for a few years.
Yes, we did. Yep. Yeah, we had a good time. No. So. Yep.
Schaefer Dave says, Mark, congratulations on all you've done. I was going to call you today. I have some questions from pullers and need some good advice. You were the name that everyone said to ask. Keep up the great work, Schaefer's Dave.
Thank you, Dave. Yep.
Wow.
Yeah, I had talked to him this summer one time, and and he was telling me about his EP 150, that super slick stuff, Teflon you can dump in your oil, And I had told him, I said, that stuff doesn't work for us. And he goes, what do you mean it don't work for you? And I said, it separates to the bottom of the oil pan somewhat. And when you go to start your motor, our roller lifters don't turn. It's too slippery. And he goes, no way. I said, yeah, ask around. We're not the only ones that had trouble. You either got to heat it. You just can't dump her in and drive, and I'll be darned. He goes, he has mentioned that more than once. I'll be darned. He never knew that. So anyhow,
Mark,
yeah. So
I don't know how you can afford all these pulling tractors and this tuxedo that you had at the Outlaw banquet. Can you? I mean, where do you get all your money, Homer? That had to be at least like $20 on Amazon or something, don't you think?
You know that shirt there? I've only worn that. I worn it at my daughter's wedding reception, and I only wear it when I win a points championship. So I think I paid $14 for it at Walmart. So this is what I did, and it's been quite a while ago. So, but yeah,
Cody Vanderholm just sent that to me, Ron, and he said, "Get that up there." So that's money.
Yeah. So. People ask me how I can do with all the tractors, and I tell them I saved all my pennies when I was little. So that's how I do it. So,
and what is your daughter's name, Mark?
Jessica.
She chimed in here as well.
Yeah.
She had a question, wondered if you missed the birth of your first granddaughter to a pull in Missouri.
Yeah, we were pulling in Kansas City. And
just kidding. We're so proud of you.
Yeah, she actually was due for a C-section, and the doctor changed the appointment, and she called me and blamed me for getting a hold of her doctor and getting the appointment changed so I could make it back for the birth of her daughter, our little Gemma. So yeah, our first grandchild. But no, I made it back on Sunday afternoon, and she was born Saturday. So yeah. She said she was just kidding. Said they're very proud of you. So
we got a request for you to wear the tuxedo shirt pulling, Mark.
Oh, gosh.
Might just have to save it for the banquets, for the points
Yep.
championships.
Yeah, might have to airbrush a fire suit as a tuxedo on top, huh? So
There you go. Doug
Yep.
Morgan says you're the man, Mark Ulmer. I
Mm.
agree with that. Cody
Schultz,
says
get
awesome.
more Mafia shirts made of tuxedo t-shirts.
Ooh, I'm
Yeah.
gonna write that down. Ulmer Mafia.
Yeah, we've been a whole family of horsepower and tractor pulling. I mean, all of us started in the 70s with my dad. Actually, my dad in 68. You know, so my brother and my dad and a neighbor built a modified. We took a 396 Chevy and a 44 Massey. And what was crazy, we'd spread fertilizer with it in the spring, you know, that tractor, and chase back and forth with it because it'd go about 50 mile an hour down the road. So we'd never have to unhook the fertilizer spreader to go get another load, and we'd make her back and forth. And so, I mean, it's just been happening. And then actually through the early 70s to the mid 80s, a group of my family and other local members of Menno here, we built a sled. So we had the Cannonball sled back then. So we were traveling to tractor pulls all the time. If it wasn't pulling, we were doing it with the sled. So anyhow, that it's just been, that's all we've done. So yeah, my daughter asked, I think you guys asked what was your first pull you attended, Jason? You had a question the other day or something?
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. And my daughter said, when Mark Olmer's your dad, it's mandatory you go to the pull, you know, at birth. So, and there's a lot of truth in that. That's all we've ever done as a family, is that way, stuff like that. So yeah.
There's not a better way to spend your life, Mr. Ulmer.
No, I would agree. Yep. So
Ron, can you read that question for me? I'm going to upload that video. You just-
Absolutely. Tyler Spatansky
oh
is asking, he said, do you remember the deal that you had in 2017 with him and Ravenna?
yeah.
That you had a problem with the weapon the first night, and said the next night that he would pull the weapon and you would pull the Super 10. He was wondering if that deal is still on.
Oh, well, sure it is. Yeah. But I can't take the Super 10 away from Haley. She drives that. So, yeah. But yeah, I told him that night he beat me, you know, and he's wanted to beat me all the time. And I told him that night, well, you beat me once, but you ain't going to beat me again. So, and I think I put 50 or 70 feet on him the next night. So, but anyhow, yeah. So, but now we have all kinds of good times like that. So, yeah.
Taryn Beck is offering her driving abilities for the blue tractor if you ever need her for that position.
Yeah, she has enjoyed that tractor since she got to know us. So she used to ride along. Dennis would come down to my shop and help me in the shop some, and she would come along and she'd end up falling asleep in the tractor. She'd sit in it and take a nap while she's sitting there. That was her baby. So yeah, there's a cool picture.
This is an awesome picture.
Yeah, that's actually Jamie Boho Boy's son. You know Frank Boho Boy. I would take it. Everybody knows Frank.
Yep.
That's his grandson, and I seen him coming down off the deal. He's gonna be one getting one of my trophies one of these years. So yep,
that's cool.
Yep. So
where's that picture from?
That was from Wisner.
Is it one of Cody's pics or?
Yeah, Cody just.
Yep.
Cody's feeding me pictures on the backside, kind of like the slide him underneath the table around, if you will.
Yeah, that's a cool pic.
Yep. Bowden is his name. So yep. So yeah.
Your tractors love the Wisner Air.
Yeah, that they do. We have really been blessed at Wisner. Yeah, even Diesel Super, we won that a couple times with Lost, and we showed everybody what all of the insides of our tractors are too. There, we pitched the rods out of two of them one day down there. So
I'm gonna attempt. Here we go. We've been talking about this all night. Can you guys see that?
This Manila?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. Okay, let me blow it up and then I'll hit play. Ron, can you still see it? Okay.
It's a black screen right now, but it was there. It is.
Was?
Yeah, this is Eleanor.
Can you guys see it?
Yep.
Yeah,
it's up there.
I only got one screen tonight. Normally I got three. So
see, it's really rich right there. You can see it. You know, it just wouldn't come to life. And luckily,
the things you did
right there, I pulled the fuel shut off.
Yeah, that's amazing.
Is what I did. And then she came to life. I pushed it in, and then it kind of died again. And right here,
he reaches down
to life. I actually pushed the clutch down and gave the motor a little freewheel. Next thing, we were just off to the races. we
Katie
just
barred the
coast right
door.
up to the coast right up to the deal. So yep, unbelievable. I actually raised my hand that night. That
Yeah,
was
go.
unusual. So yeah.
Yes,
We should
so
watch that again. That was
we're gonna roast
pretty
some
awesome.
marshmallows there.
You guys can see all the mud. God, they did a heck of a job. Yeah, 90 feet of track, 2 tracks usually down there.
Yep.
And we were down to one about 28 feet wide. It's all when it, from all the rain. But boy, was it a good track. Ooh, we like them.
Yeah, it looks really tacky.
There she came to life.
Yeah,
like you
oh, it
said.
came to life at about 150 feet there. And you can see my hand there. We better slow down or we're going to over here. So, yeah. Yep. Yeah. That's been a good little hot rod. We've had a lot of fun with that one. So, yep.
I'm looking up your distance. I think it was like right at 400.
I believe so. Yeah, something like that.
Kalen enjoys his Thunderbolt. That's from Ryan Fergs. So
Yeah, I gave him a Thunderbolt a couple of years ago. So, yeah.
that's awesome. Stephanie Beth says, hi, Mr. Ulmer.
No, hi there, Steph. So,
Yeah, normally during the show, the numbers go down. Our numbers keep climbing, Ulmer. I think everybody's saying, Ulmer's on Facebook. Ulmer's on Facebook.
yeah.
Oh, I love it.
Yeah, 396 and change with
And he let out-
Eleanor that night. 382 and change with the weapon that night.
Yeah, we could have coasted. We coasted to that 396.
Yeah, you did. It was
Yeah.
It was a heck of a hook.
Yeah. After our Cape Girardeau fiasco during the day when our trailer broke, that night was pretty good for us too, though, boy. We had a good time there. So,
Yeah, they loved you guys down there. That
Yeah.
the fans and the promoters and all. They really loved the event down there we had. So
Cape is one of the biggest fairs in Missouri. I'm pretty sure I was told that because it's way down southern Missouri, right, guys? If I remember correctly.
yeah. South of St.
Southeast
Louis.
Missouri, yeah.
Yep.
Right there close to Kentucky and Tennessee and Arkansas.
Yep.
Doug Morgan says best pulley ever made was at Richland.
Oh, yeah.
Thanks for comments.
Oh, boy. Yeah. Yes, sir. That was a good one, too.
What?
Richland, Missouri.
Oh,
Kind of a downhill track.
Yeah, we had fun there.
Yeah. Yeah. Against the Comet, I had the weapon. And actually, Brian Bowles owned the Comet yet. And
2015.
we actually ended up in a repo because both of us went way past where we were supposed to stop. And ended up in a repo. And I ended up putting like 14 feet on Brian with the weapon that night on a heads up deal. And yeah, that was a very nice one. We were very blessed at Richland. Yep. Good dirt, good sleds, everything was good. So, yep.
Mark, at the awards banquet, when you spoke after winning your award, you got a little emotional, I think, talking about the Young Guns program we have going. You want to talk about that a little bit? I mean, what do you see something there? I mean, you've been around the sport for a long time, and passing the torch and getting these young guns involved. I mean, do you want to touch on that a little bit?
Yeah, sure. I think the Young Gun program is one of the best things that's happened in my pulling career, because I've often wondered, who's going to be next in line or how, and you see a few come up and here and there, but they fade away or they don't stick with it or they don't have the money and all that good stuff. But I when this came about, I just thought, wow, this is just great to actually be able to have a bunch of young people involved in a sport that needs to grow with it because it's turned into such a form of entertainment that you can't just, it isn't going to the local fair anymore. And I think it's just neater than heck. I understand that it takes mom and dad's money or mom and dad to make that all happen, but to be able to pass everything on when people come up to me and say, how do you drive like that? And I'm not afraid to tell them, because most of the time they won't believe me anyhow. I tell them I have my eyes closed most of the time. It don't matter, And but our knowledge of how to get down the track, what to look at a track, now we can pass that on to this young gun group, and hopefully the sport will just excel because they are all so internet savvy and TikTok and all this. Where us old guys, we don't we TikTok, but it's not the same. But I think it's just cool as can be, and I hope it can just continue to grow. And I don't know why it won't, because anytime you can bring a age group of 16 to 26 years old to a tractor pull and actually have somebody involved with it, that's something I missed out on. There was probably that group, but when I started and actually maybe won my first pull, it was, oh, that smart little bugger came from the Olmers, and all that, well, I think they'll get the respect they need if they do good. If they don't do good, they'll get the knowledge from somebody, because we'll tell them not to turn their steering wheel, and not to do this, or why'd you do that, and can answer their questions for them. And I just think it's the best thing going for Outlaw in a long time as far as the future. And we need it because the Outlaw is growing and the pulls are getting better and the entertainment level is getting higher and the professionalism is coming right with it. So I think it's just neat as can be. So yeah.
And they're super excited too. When you get them all together like we did at the banquet in one room, I mean, they're pumped. They're pumped about next season.
Yeah.
These young guns are.
And the real fun is they all want to beat the old legends. So that's what I like. So no, but anyhow, yeah. But I think it's just neat as can be. Yep. Well, and the future of it, it's just going to get bigger and better. And I do believe it might even draw some more people into it that maybe we're going to be a car racer or a weekend snowmobiler or something. They'll say, let's do this. So, and I'd be happy to get them lined up with a tractor. So yeah.
Come on out to the Ulmer buffet. We have a couple of tractors to choose from.
Yeah. I'm getting old. I'm going to have to get rid of some of them pretty soon. So, yep. So,
now, Mark, you had a situation this summer. We just about lost Mark Ulmer this summer. You want to talk about that a little bit, or?
No, I don't know. Yeah, we had a little bad deal in a grain bin, a little miscommunication, and ended up stuck in a grain bin. But never. Luckily, Tyler was there to get it shut off for me. So I ended up in about waist deep. So it was never really life-threatening that way after it shut off. But boy, it was getting kind of serious at that time. So, but no, we turned out fine out of that. So, yep, everything good. So what kills you makes you stronger. So, yeah, what doesn't kill you, makes you stronger. And we came, I don't know where we went, Iowa State Fair, I think, right after it.
Yep. That's everybody was talking about it.
Yeah, and ended up winning Iowa State Fair, so can't get any better than that. So, yeah.
So, Ulmer, I saw this meme on Facebook the other day, and I want to share it, and I thought of you. So, It never gets easier. You just get better.
It's better, yeah.
So, I knew Ron said we were having you on the show, and I kind of always look for fun little things like that. And yeah, that fits you perfect. I'm gonna put that on your tuxedo T-shirt. I'm getting made.
Okay, yep. All right.
Who did you look up to, Mark? I mean, when you were a young man and just getting into pulling, I mean, did you have any heroes?
Oh gosh, I don't know, but heroes, a lot of them. I'd always get the puller magazine. I got puller magazines way back to 1972, I think. And
those were black and white versions, right?
Yeah, some were black and white, some were like just a newspaper deal, and then some were the regular puller covers. They kind of changed a few things over the years, but I don't know, just all them guys. I just wait for that thing to come and look at all the pictures and wonder if someday maybe I couldn't get to go to Fort Recovery, Ohio, or pull with that, and then kind of got myself worked into that area and managed to stay married, even though I was gone all summer. We'd leave in June and come back in September. Me and Esden, we actually left our truck and drove a car out to Ron Boldemeyer's in Fort Wayne, Indiana. And our tractors never came home. We worked on them out there. And about every 2 weeks, one of us would come home and the other one would stay with the tractors. And it was a crazy, crazy deal because people got to know us, that we were out there. So we'd actually work on other people's tractors when we didn't have to work on our own, and cut tires and work on motors for people and stuff out at Fort Wayne, Indiana, and Boldemeyer's shop with him. And so as far as heroes, I mean, I sat around the campfire at the NTPA polls and I listened to Art Fawns. and his daughter talk about when he tried to set the land speed record with his jet turbine car.
Yeah.
And
Wow.
it was the coolest thing. I'll never, ever forget it, and actually got to know Art. We actually stopped at his shop in Chicago, and that was just an experience like unbelievable. And Dusty, talked to her a lot. And he actually told us, he said, guys, when you're going along 600 mile an hour, you can actually tell the world's round because you're going so fast. And then he said he pushed the button one more time to set the land speed record, and he woke up in the hospital because it rolled for miles,
Yeah.
We'd sit with Ralph Bander a lot. Esden knew all these guys, and I just tagged along and got to know them. And Ralph would give you life lessons, unbelievable, and we still use them today. Just this summer, my brother got a new set of tires, and I said, well, I never forget what Ralph Bander said around the campfire. He said, never put more than 3 wrinkles in your tires. They're not doing you any good, So I told him that, and I'll be darned if they didn't readjust their air pressure, and they ended up winning a points title. So, I mean, it's just stuff like that. Unbelievable. Yeah. So all the people I've got to know and the memories, it's unreal. So, yeah.
Yeah, Ralph was an innovator as well. I mean, in that mod tractor class.
Yeah.
He tried a lot of things everybody else was scared to try,
Oh, no doubt. Yeah, he used to tell us, there ain't nothing to beating the Bander brothers, but you're only going to do it once.
Honoring.
Yeah. So
I think your sister chimed in there, Mark.
Yeah, she's in Florida. Yep.
Cheryl from Mexico says, keep up the good work, little brother.
Yeah. Yep.
Mexico, Florida, it's all the same.
Oh, yeah, that's close. Yeah.
It's down south there somewhere.
No, she's in Mexico. Yeah, that's right. So
She's 10.
Yep.
Art Arfons used to come to that little track there in Ohio where I grew up in Southern Ohio when I was little. And I still have, they call them hero cards now, but it was just a black and white sheet of paper that had a picture of Art and the tractor and all the particulars. I still have that. I actually put it on Facebook a while back, and I found it. Actually found it in a box of truck parts and some body shop tools that I had when I was building my pulling truck. I was like, what the heck is that doing in there? I've been looking for that. But
yep.
Yeah, he was pretty cool. He was a very approachable, nice guy as well. So
yeah, and he tried a few things too that were unbelievable. So yeah,
sure did.
Yeah,
and was successful at most of them as well.
Yes, very. Yeah, and yeah, what a compliment to the sport. The tires, and he worked with a lot of stuff that people never dreamed of, and to make the sport better. Not just himself. So yeah,
a lot of people didn't realize the rear end in that tractor was a Dana 60 rear end.
Yep.
You ever see the rear end of that tractor, Mark?
Yeah, I did. Mm-hmm. Yep.
It was set up.
Yeah. What do you think's in the weapon? No. Yeah. No, exactly. Yeah. That shouldn't have worked. So, yep.
So now let's nail you down on what tractors we're going to see in 2022.
Well, we were actually trying to get out of the light super class, the cast light super class, and concentrate on unlimited super. But the people that helped me, Jake Law and Bobby Wagner and my son Tyler and my wife, they don't think I need to do that. So we'll probably campaign light supers next year again. So, and then we are gonna work on unlimited light super in the diesel form.
I can't wait for that.
Not that we think we can be Colin Rouse and beat them unlimited guys, but we're gonna try our best at a new 3 charger setup. I've never had three turbos before. I've always had 4, and but kind of the weight, So we're gonna try our best with that and run the unlimited class. So
Sean wants to know, which tractor do you like to drive the most? Mark, do you have a favorite, or are they all?
The weapon will give you a ride like unreal when it decides to go straight, So, yeah. But every once in a while, even under my helmet, I'm sitting there thinking, God, just go straight, you damn thing, What's wrong with you, But boy, when it hooks up like it does at Wisner or Rock Valley or Cape Girardeau, I mean, we rolled to 370 feet there and backed out of it because we could have went unbelievable.
There's a brick wall. There's a brick wall at the end of Cape there, Mark.
Yeah, there is. Yeah, it's just unbelievable.
Not a registration booth. You stop right now booth.
Yeah,
a toll booth, kind of.
Yeah. I mean, they're all fun.
That tractor has a lot of video clips. When I was pulling some of those clips, it likes to walk quite a bit, and
yep.
I don't think I've ever seen you pull back on that throttle when it's got to walking pretty hardcore.
Yeah,
stay with it.
I've watched too many guys do that, and the sled pile drives them.
Dang.
So we try to get straightened up, and the sled operators trust me. They know. I've had more of them. If it would have been anybody else, they would have pulled the kill switch, but they kind of know, and I kind of know. And so far I haven't forgot all that stuff, but, yeah, so we have great respect always with the flag people, the sled operators, and it's usually the best if you can stay in it and get her straightened up, even if you're going out of bounds or what's happening, because I've seen the sled just pile drive too many tractors. So, so.
Well, Mark, so we end every interview with our favorite question from Ryan Rusink, and he says, if you could drive any tractor at any time, I don't care where you pull it. He always says it can't be Tolma, Bowling Green, or Louisville. But are you fascinated with any other classes, Mark? Or I'd really like one of those, or are you? I'm knowing somebody like you could build about anything. Probably take a damn derby car and win the 4-wheel drive truck class. So,
I have driven pretty much everything that I've wanted to. I drive my brother's modified, and it hurts my ears. I had a mini rod,
yes, you did.
Now that was a challenge, and that was fun. I have to admit that. And someday we're going to have another mini rod. So
where'd that go, Mark? Who bought that?
It actually went back to the owner. Yeah.
Okay.
He actually called me one day when he heard Outlawed wasn't having mini rods anymore. And he said, I'm really missing my mini rod. So I was wondering if I could buy it back, and I said, it's kind of funny you're called, because Van Beek had just called me about 2 hours before that and said we weren't having any more mini rods in Outlaw until things get straightened away. So, so it went right back to where I picked it up. So
good deal.
And naturally I had to take a little less, and then I told him, I said, when he picked it up, if we do this 5 more times, I get it back for free. So, but anyhow, yeah. I don't know. I had the privilege to sit on Tim Engler's Mission Impossible in the 90s when it had 7 motors on it.
Could you see anything other than
no, just a motor?
Just a motor.
The one right in front of you was right in front of you.
Wow.
I never drove it, but I got to sit on it at his shop with it running, and it's like, wow,
that would be the best TikTok ever, Ulmer.
Yeah. And you got to really tip your hat to Jody and Colin Ross right now. The way triple bypass runs, my goodness, that's unbelievable. So it'd be a toss up, but I'm pretty happy with the ones I got. So, yeah.
You should be. You should be very proud.
Yep.
That's awesome.
Mark, anybody else you want to thank? Did we get everybody? I don't want to. I mean, you're famous now. Nobody knew you before tonight. So
I got to thank my family, my wife, for putting up with me being gone all the time, and got to thank you guys, what you're doing for tractor pulling, and got all the sponsors. I don't care if it's Outlaw, NTPA, PPL. It's really came a long ways over all the years. You just got to really sit back and say, watching from when I started to where I'm at now and where tractor pulling is and where its future is going, I think it looks just fantastic. So
that's so good, Mark, to hear from somebody that everybody respects and that you've seen. I mean, 40, 50 years of it. I'm not trying to call you old, but you are. And
I'm afraid. Yeah. I'm getting down. And old Al Nelson used to tell me we're down to just what's on these 2 hands, 10 more years. And I'm down to one of them already, just about. I'm 64 now. So
I love it.
A lot of pulling left, Mark. A lot of pulling left.
Oh, a lot. The traveling is getting tough though. So, but anyhow, yeah. But anyhow, yeah. I just got to thank all you guys, everybody, all the sponsors, everybody that's trying their hardest to make it a form of entertainment that's second to none. So, yeah.
Well, we took an hour of your life up, so Ron owes you money. Okay,
Yeah.
so that's
Yeah,
how that works.
well, we'll get that back somehow.
Yeah, get in line, Mark.
So,
Thanks, Mark.
no, thank you guys. Yep.
You were great.
Thanks so much, Mark. Appreciate
Yeah,
it.
thank you.
Have
Yeah,
a good
see you
night.
guys this summer. So,
Yep. Take
Yes,
care, bud.
sir.
Yep.
See you on.
See you, bud.
Yep.
So that's going to be our biggest number show ever.
That's awesome. Yeah, I was looking at some of the numbers up there.
They're
They're
just
pretty high.
they're just climbing the comments and stuff like that. Such a good dude. Just
Yeah.
I mean, such a great guy. I love it.
Some of the names he was dropping. Oh my
You know,
God.
I kept, I hope, everybody that knows me, they know I'm being a little sarcastic smartass, but he's a name dropper. Those are names. I mean, well, I did this for Danny Dean and I did this for Robbie Russ. Oh, I sat on Tim Engler's tractor when I was running. That's just classic. That is classic. So
it was mentioned some of the names and some of the ones I don't even, you don't hear a whole lot anymore. The Delaware Ether Eater,
yeah, just so cool.
Awesome.
That
So
was
that was good. That was definitely worth an hour. I hope Burgundy's still waiting there so we can get Burgundy on here. I apologize to Burgundy.
No, I knew when you said we had second guest, I went, oh, this is going to be an hour and a half for tonight. So it's all good. So. But no, I mean, I love the interaction that the Facebook page is seeing, Ron, with just polling fans, not just outlaw polling fans. If you're reading a lot of the comments on the questions I've been popping up on there, and then even tonight, with the show, there's people watching from California all over, So
yeah, I saw that. There was from all over.
Ulmer's one of those names. Ulmer's one of those. It's a legend. It's a name dropper name. It is. Yeah. I mean, the Ulmer Mafia. I'm glad like I said, we're glad they didn't throw us in the trunk of their car.
Yep. Hey, it's always a possibility. Always a possibility to get whacked.
Get a big old 79 Burgundy.
What's up, Burgundy?
I want to say, besides being the daughter of a famous tractor puller, I'm super proud of you for what you've done with the scholarship. I know you're a young gun, but I am super proud of that scholarship thing. And that Ritter, every time Ritter touched my shoulders, it cost me $500 to $1,000 a day. So,
yeah, he is good at that.
very good. Very good. So.
I think he looks forward to that every year.
Well, it takes him a little. I think it takes a little liquid courage to get up there, but I mean,
good at it.
He's good at it.
So, Burgundy, I haven't never really met you till this year. I mean, like hung out with you and stuff like that. And then the first assignment I get is you need to keep her on the track. They're going to propose to her. And you were so pissed at me. Like, why do I got to stay out here? And I'm like, because we're going to do a special for the Iowa State Fair and your dad. And I was making up stories and because I'm
I heard the gears going and steam was coming out of your ears. I knew something was happening, but I didn't know what.
Oh, I had the state troopers over there because the governor was coming to see me. It was a lot going on that night. So,
for those of you who don't know what we're talking about is Burgundy's fiance proposed to her on the track at the Iowa State Fair.
After she sang the national anthem.
Yeah, after she sang the
she's
national
the
anthem.
son of Glenn Freeze. She is the scholarship champion. She's a young gun. She sings the national anthem at the Iowa State Fair, and she got proposed to. And she said yes. So it's been a good year. Ron, if I'm Burgundy, I'm going straight to the casino, and I'm betting it all on red.
I mean, I did go to the casino like a month or two after. I did not win, though.
You did not win?
No, that was the only thing I think this year I didn't win, I guess. Was
It's all good. It's all good. Well, Burgundy, thanks for coming on tonight with us. We just had Mark on, and it was awesome. I hope I saw you comment, and so I'm assuming you got to watch the show a little bit. So.
Oh yeah, I had to. Mark, I've known Mark forever. Or it feels like forever, because Ryan,
your future husband says it was not good.
Yeah, but no, it's been fun growing up. Watching Mark and Dad and Chuck Schluter go back and forth, all three of them, and Brian Bowles. Being in that class, it was always tough. I mean, especially watching Dad take some of the beatings that he used to take on that old red ink. I mean, when it would walk, it wasn't just walking. I mean, it was like slamming him back and forth. And it was always interesting to see, but also scary at the same time, because you didn't know if he was okay or not. he ended up cracking a helmet one year actually from doing that so many times.
Wow. That's a hell of a ride.
Yeah.
I got to talk with your dad a little bit at the banquet, and he says big changes are afoot with Red Ink for 2022. So
Yep, it's needed to happen for a couple years, but farming, and Dad's really busy with our trucking company that we have. He just, he tries to make everything work the best he can, but now we're getting to the point of where it's kind of non-negotiable. It needs to happen. So we're excited, and hopefully we'll get everything, to work right, because there's a lot to do. But we're all excited to be a part of it. And I know my little brother Ace is really excited to help to get, everything kind of put together too this year. And he's starting to show more interest. He's that 13-year-old kind of awkward teenage stage. So he's starting to show the interest, which is really nice.
Future young guy.
I'm 46 and I'm at that awkward phase.
We know that, Jason. That Ice Baby kind of put it out there for us.
Hey, so since I'm working on the Humpty dance for next year. Now gather around, because I'm the new fool in town, and my sound's laid down by the underwear. Stoner, you get your little guitar out, Ronner, and
figure that one out. Yeah.
Yep. Back to you, Burgundy Freeze.
I think this banquet, I'm not going to lie, it was the best banquet ever. Not just, the scholarship part was phenomenal. I couldn't thank the donors, the buyers anymore.
Clint Medding.
Yes, Clint Medding. But, Mary Beth Wortman's the one who actually started the scholarship about 5-6 years ago now. And she's always been the one to look up to, especially for that stuff, because she's very, very organized, and I'm very blessed to have a flash drive with everything on there for me, so I don't have to try to do it all by hand. But I'm very thankful for her and Lori. They really helped me get stuff kind of squared away. I got a couple things I got to finish up yet on the scholarship from this year, but there's a bunch of things I saw, because this was the first year I did the auction by myself without Mary Beth helping me. So there's a lot of things I'd like to kind of tweak for next year. But, it's just being that first year and being back together. It's kind of like we know what we need to do. So it was really nice, though, getting to see everybody and getting to raise money for the kids again, because I know what it means, to receive it, because I received it back in 2016, I think it was. And it's a really cool feeling, that the one sport you love, the most of all is giving back to you to go to school.
Yeah, the fact that the pullers, are, some of the items that are being auctioned off. Clint Medding, that's a pretty expensive toolbox that he picked up there, and they know where that money's going. And just Kurt says it all the time about the Outlaw family, and that's exactly what it is. They definitely give back and want to see the youth, want to see them successful in their endeavors and everything. And, the screwdrivers, I can't remember what the screwdrivers went for.
I stopped at 500.
You stopped 500 on the screwdrivers.
Yes.
See, that's just it. And you see people shaking their heads, how are these guys doing this? But it's a family thing. They know what it's going for. And I think you may mention this year that we went from 4 scholarship recipients to 5 for this year. That's awesome. That's amazing.
And next year too, we're already looking at, with how much is being brought in, we're looking at adding, like, I call it the continuing ed scholarship for somebody going back to school that maybe didn't get it fit. Oh dear God.
Cody comes through again. This shot brought to you by Vendor Home Media. Cody.
Well, and Cody dropped me on the dance floor too, and I had a bruise to prove it, but it's gone now. Oh my God.
Back to the show. My ADD is starting to kick in. I can focus for about an hour, Burgundy, and I did that with Mark the best I could. So.
But no, I want to expand it for somebody going back to school, you know, or somebody who wants to go on to get their master's degree or their doctorate. You know, I want that to be an option, but also increasing the amounts as well. Kind of reaching out to people for the interest, you know, and making sure people realize, you know, it is an option for them to apply for it. Because I think a lot of people are like, well, I'm not always there, so I can't apply. You know, I feel like a lot of people get lost in a lot of that part of it too, like the details. So I'd really like to try to be more vocal next year about, you know, make sure, you know, you're doing it and get talking to the actual kids about it. Cause I think a lot of them get kind of scared to do it, but I'm like, you never know until you try.
Yeah, you just make sure Median's at the auction every year and you have Ritter, you're good. You'll get at least 10 to 15,000 out of those. You're good to go.
So
Like it might be one of those deals, Burgundy. Like if Clint's like, I can't come this year, I got to work. No, we're sending a plane. We're gonna send a plane.
We'll FaceTime him.
Yeah.
Yeah, we actually had one of our members take a plane to the bank.
Yeah, Doug Meisinger.
Oh yeah.
Burgundy, how did you get into pulling? Tell us the backstory here on Burgundy Freeze.
So funny thing that the Outlaw, like, when was your first pull? And Mackenzie Yard put in the womb. I'm like, I'm with you there because my mom was pregnant with me in the summer. But I mean, I've been going to tractor pull since I was a baby. It started out, Dad had a 466 called the Indian Hill Special, and he was very competitive in the light super class. He was a part of the Iowa group, the Iowa Tractor Pullers first before Outlaw came along. Well, Bert Kirchhoff, when she was the secretary, she actually has a picture of me in a box in the back of a pickup while my mom was helping her do entry and Dad was getting stuff ready. And then it moved on to, you know, then we had the old red ink, and I helped Dad with that for years. And I kept thinking, I'll get on that someday, you know, I can do it. And then after a quiet while, I'm like, I'm kidding. I don't want to get on that one. And then he built the component. And ever since he built it, you know, we were down at Bryce Van Gedren's shop, and I just sit there and try to help when I could. I mean, I can't fabricate anything, but I tried to help. And you know, ever since we brought it home, I was like, I'm going to get on that someday. And 3 years ago, we went up to Monroe, Wisconsin. And the whole way up there, I thought I was going to be sick to my stomach. You know, I was so nervous. Well, it ended up getting rained out. So then we came home. And then for 3 years, I kept looking at Dad like, okay, can I drive yet? And he's like, not yet, not yet. I'm like, for the love of, okay, fine. And so I'd sit there. Well, finally at Concord, I don't know. He just looked at me and he goes, you want to drive? And I was like, I didn't take, but I was like, yep. I'm like, we can go up to Lori and tell her now. And that day, well, I mean, it definitely will live probably as one of my favorite moments because, you know, besides the takeoff, I don't remember the takeoff very much because it kind of went blurry for a second. But I mean, when that tractor lifted, it was just an experience that I was like, holy cow, like this is what, you know, my 24 years I've been waiting for this, you know, to be able to do this. And then when I pulled off to the back of the track, you know, and I got it shut down, I took my helmet off and I just started crying because I was like, I've waited for so long to do this, you know, and everybody was cheering me on, you know, like Des Polson and Lauren, Gary and Carol Whiff, Annette Van Beek, Tammy and Richard Morris, you know, they were all there. And it was just, you know, it was just amazing that after you got done feeling of that family that was around you, to, you know, to tell you good job and give you a hug. And they were waiting for it as long as I was to drive. And I felt bad because Ryan, my fiance, was not there. He was at actually another tractor pull, but he kept texting me the whole entire time. And I was like, I got to leave my phone at the Ranger for a little bit. I was like, I got to focus. But no, it's been a long time coming for sure. But I cannot thank my dad enough for letting me have the opportunity, because I know he was very skeptical, because if you notice in one of the pictures, I think on Facebook or whatnot, he had his fire shoes on in case if the track went away and it got bad. So he was ready to go if the track got bad and I wasn't comfortable to do it. And he kept asking me the whole way up there, "Are you okay? You can do it, right?" And I was like, "Quit asking me that question."
And now, Burgundy, I've seen that tractor take some pretty wild rides with your dad in the seat. I mean,
Yeah, I could see why he would have his fire shoes on, Burgundy.
Well, because actually out at Ravenna this last year, the very first hook and everything, he came down really hard, and it actually the frame had a kink in it. And so we were like, oh crap. Well, they tore into it the next day and found out that we actually had a hurt motor. And then they came home. Well, parts, we couldn't get parts. And finally, Dad's like, as long as we don't take another wild ride, the frame will be fine. And so that's what was my biggest fear, was if it came up and slammed back down, but it never did, thankfully. And then Wisner came around, and that, but we figured out that our tires started getting dull at the end of the year, and then I did the whole up and down. I thought I slammed down really hard at the end, and they're like, "No, it wasn't that bad." So I was like, "Oh, thank God," because I thought I broke the tractor in half.
Yeah, that pull at Ravenna actually made a highlight reel that I played a lot during the summer.
Oh yeah, I know. I was at Rock Valley and I saw it on Friday, and I was like, "Oh no!"
Oh no!
So, how many times did you pull it this summer?
Yeah, I pulled 2 times this summer, or this last summer, and then this next summer, hopefully, Dad probably would pull it the first couple times, get it dialed back in a little bit, and then, I mean, we have a schedule that I think we had 22 hooks. I don't know. It was a lot, and so Dad was like, "Well, the first couple, I'll have to get it dialed back in, and then we can, get, the driving thing kind of figured out after that." And I told him, that's perfectly fine. I would rather him have something go wrong right away than if I got on it right away and something broke, because then I really would feel bad.
Yep, 23 hooks right now, Burgundy, for next season for
Woo,
that
that's
class,
gonna be a lot of driving.
So did you pull that Concord and Wisner, right?
Yep.
What did you pull Saturday night at Wisner?
Yeah. Yep. Saturday night. Yep.
I can go grab those clips, Jason. I could probably grab those real quick.
Yeah, I mean, it's your show, Ron. We can do whatever you want, buddy.
All right.
Outlawed with Ron Stone.
I'm gonna go find those clips, see if we can play those for
Burgundy. Who are some of the people you've met over the years that you've kind of maintained those friendships with? Because the one thing you always talk about the puller, at the end of the day, it's the friendships you made. Who are some of your best pulling friends that you just can't wait to see?
Oh gosh.
Make sure you say them all, because somebody might get pissed at you. I'm putting you on the spot.
Oh gosh. Alyssa Shellum from South Dakota, she is definitely one of those people, like every time we see each other, it's just like even if we see each other like the weekend before, it's always, we always have something to talk about. Seeing Tyler Ulmer and like the Hoffmans, like Justin, just like those guys, growing up with them, or like Cole Z, his sister Cassidy, Mackenzie and Cody Yarick, even Lane, it's just, there's a bunch of them. It's so hard to name everybody, because, Lauren
Even Boyd. Lane. I love how you said
Even Lane.
Even Lane.
No, he's around now.
No, that was perfect. That was perfect.
And then, like Lauren Boyson, we've grown up together, that's for sure. I remember, her dad remembers me when I was running around, and then I remember Lauren when she started coming around, and she's like my little sister. It's always, if she calls me, I'm like, oh, something either is happening or she just needs somebody to talk to, which I'm always, I love getting to talk to them on, FaceTime, phone call, texting. It's always fun to, get to hear from them. And then, meeting a lot of the kids, you see them, but like getting to know them more, you know, like the Paddocks, you know, they're great kids, and getting to meet them is really fun. And oh, there's a couple other kids, but you know, it's hard to name everybody.
Oh, I know, but that's, and you know, and watching the young guns get along and do it, it's been fun.
Oh, I guess the Weens too. You know, Taylor and Colin. You know, I can't forget them because you know them being in our class. You know, we've all grown up together, competed against each other. You know, our dads, and
Yep.
that's always been a fun rivalry too, because it's like it. But when it's, you know, you're even up there at the starting line, everybody is giving you a fist bump, high five, good luck. That's what I love. You know, everybody in our class, it's just, it doesn't matter who you are, when it is, everybody is saying good luck. And it's so refreshing to see that still.
Ron, did you send it yet? No, you have
Not yet.
Okay. You can take over and run, you can share your screen. If you want to do that.
What's that?
You can share your screen.
This tractor called a red ink.
Then you don't even have to send it to us.
Freeze out of Watkins, Iowa.
Okay.
This is Burgundy Freeze.
So hit
I haven't
pause
pulled
on
it
the
off
thing.
here yet, but
Last night was Glenn driving it down at Pawnee City.
Burgundy,
See what she
what do
can
we, how old are you now? I'm sorry.
I'm 24. I'm going to be 25 in January. So it'll be my last year as a young gun.
So you're like you're like in the senior class of the young guns.
For the first time.
What are we doing? I mean, are we still in school? Are we working? What do we got going on in life?
So I call myself the jack of all trades, master of none. I actually have an agricultural business, like associates from Kirkwood, and I used that for a year or two, and it just wasn't fitting me very well. I actually went back to cosmetology school, and now I actually am doing chair rental right outside of Cedar Rapids in a small town, Newhall.
Well, that may have been her first time, but she's growing like she's done it before.
It's really fun doing my own
Burgundy Freeze on the red ink machine.
my thing, and then being able to
Over at 321.1.
Ron, can you hit mute? Sorry.
Oh, sorry about that.
Trying to listen to the beautiful Burgundy talk, and we got big old Josh screaming in the microphone in the background.
Sorry about that.
That's okay.
And then I guess too, I was farming. I kind of am putting that on the back burner for a little while, getting my hair, you know, stuff kind of started and what, like my business. But I do help at the farm yet with Dad when I can. I know he's always like, run and do this and that, you know. I mean, we still actually have Grandpa's old pulling tractor with the tires on it, the 1066. We call it Bertha.
Can you please send me a picture of that?
I will. If I thought I used to have, but I have one of me sitting on it. I don't have the side view, but I'll get one of the side view. But
Next time you go to the farm, do that.
I started it up with Grandpa standing out in the yard, and I kind of took it up a little bit, and it blew a bunch of black smoke, and he turned around and started yelling at me. I was like, whoopsies. He was not impressed by any means, but I thought it was pretty funny.
Yeah, it's all good. He'll get over it. So marriage plans, you and Ryan, have we set a date, or are we just kind of still enjoying being engaged, or what do we got going on?
It's March 18th of 2023, and that's about, I mean, we got the date and the venue set, but I mean, that's about it. I got my dress appointment set up finally. I kind of been like waiting till after the holidays, but I was like, I just want to have like time to plan this while we just have so much going on in life right now. I just would, like to be able to have time to plan it and not be rushed to,
Sounds like you're getting married at the Cowtown Showdown 2023. That date, Burgundy.
Hey, you know what?
That's not a bad idea.
No shade, Ron. We had this date before not even the next week is when Ron said that's when the Cowtown was going to be.
Now, wait, we've had that date reserved for even longer. We've had it.
I never heard about it until like that next week you were on here, I think, or Beer Money or whatever it was. And I was like, dang it. But I was like, that's the only weekend I think that really works for both of us. But I was like, you know what? It'll be what it'll be. We'll live stream it somewhere, have a little screen going. It'll be fine.
At
I mean,
least
did
you're
you,
not doing it.
Mark Ulmer missed his first granddaughter baby being born for the poll. I don't know what's the wedding. I mean, I don't know. It's kind of like the most important day of your life, something like that.
Dad will be like, I could just see him sitting there watching the pool and then be like looking up, making sure everybody's still having a good time, and you're just watching the pool.
Well, at least you didn't schedule a wedding for summertime during pulling season.
That was kind of a no already. Because I looked at Ryan and he looked at me and we both go, summer is out. And I said, spring and fall won't work either because dad and grandpa are in the field. And
so you're pretty fortunate that you get to drive a super stock, the highest level of pulling. So, and I know Ron's trying to queue up a video, but like what other classes like do you really want to watch during the pull? Or is it because of your friends or are there certain classes you're drawn to or Burgundy?
I love pro stocks. They're so, I mean, it's just not just the sound, but it's just those are so cool to watch. And then I love two-wheelers because I think they're fun to watch too. I know some people are like, they're okay, but I love it. I think they're so, anybody can win. It doesn't matter who it is, and the diesel supers are fun to watch too. I grew up around Matt Goodwin, and them, and we all would kind of park by each other. And I remember when his one Intimidator blew up down at Adele. Yep. I remember that because my mom and my aunt, like, it was like how far away, and they both clinged on to me. I'm like maybe 6, 7. I was like, I don't know what you're doing.
That's when it tossed the whole motor out, right, Burgundy?
Oh yeah, it was just catastrophic. I remember we walked by the trailer, and I just remember Matt was walking, and he just kept shaking his head like, "What am I gonna do?" And I was like, "That's not a good day."
No, that is a bad day.
Jason, I sent that video to you. I'm not sure how to share my screen on here.
Okay, well, I'll get you trained eventually. So.
I appreciate that.
Did you send it? You sent to the same email, my mortgage email? Okay. I'll wait for that to come up here. We'll load that up for Burgundy. So.
Yeah, that would be the Concord video.
Okay. Very cool. Burgundy, we do a lot of show prep, Ron and I. I mean, we prep for weeks for these shows. So, or 30 seconds. So.
I was going to say, I don't know about that.
Yeah, she knows both of us too well. I think I can't even try to lie on that deal. So,
well, you want a fun fact, Jason? I actually was in Victor the other night at the Fireman's Ball.
Oh, I love Victor.
Dance or whatever you call it.
You were down at the American Legion.
Yep.
That's where we had our homecoming dances and all that stuff.
They still do.
That's awesome.
Now, Burgundy, your fiance, your soon-to-be husband, he's a puller as well?
In a sense, yes. He's kind of trying to figure out that part because he'd like to build a tractor someday. He's kind of still figuring that out, of what it's gonna be or what he wants, I guess, to do. But he actually goes with Chris Bates. He's
from Keswick, Iowa.
Yeah, from Keswick. He has the unknown. And they've been friends for a couple years now. And Chris let him drive. I believe it's two summers ago in Marengo. It's one of like the closest like hometown pulls for us, and he did very, very well. And then he actually got to take it out this year himself down to Mexico, Missouri, and run it for Chris because he had another obligation. And he's kind of beating himself up over it, because second time out jitters and whatnot. But I don't know I forget how he did, but he loves it too. He is much as a horsepower junkie as I am some days. It's kind of an interesting conversation when you have a diesel guy and an alcohol person talking back and forth.
Yeah. Then you get a Mark Olmer that runs both. So.
Yeah. But I will say, and Ryan was a big help too, getting the tractor ready a couple times, when because he is a truck driver, so he's gone a lot in a semi. But when he is home and he can help, he's been fantastic, adapting to that. Because, I have to tell him, you got to be easy on this and this. And, he kind of looks at me like, why? Like, you can't do that on these as you can on a diesel. I'm like, you gotta be gentle. And he starts looking at me like, you crazy lady. I'm like, yeah, I would rather I get yelled at than him get yelled at. Oh, smoking a few got. Oh, whatever, Ryan.
Ron, did your email get kicked back? Because I haven't seen it come through yet. I just want to make sure it wasn't too big.
That's a possibility.
Technology, you gotta love it.
It works. It works awesome when it works, Burgundy. But when it doesn't work, it doesn't work. So
Yeah, it didn't go.
I don't remember if it was Big Rye who said it on the Beer Money, but I think it is kind of funny. It's kind of full circle for me now. I actually grew up. I kind of helped Lori Bauer in the T-shirt trailer when I was little, and then I stepped up to. I was part of the camera crew for like a half a summer, and then I did laser for 2-3 summers, and then I went up to I helped do registration at like State Fair a time or two, and then now I'm driving. So it's kind of full circle now. I've done kind of everything, I think, under the sun besides flagging. I never did that.
That can happen, Burgundy. Pretty
I
quick.
don't know if I want that to happen.
Announcing, we can put you up in the announcer's booth as well.
Yeah. You definitely prove that you can sing. So
Yeah. Depends on the day.
So, who was your hero growing up, Burgundy? Your pulling hero, that is.
Well, this sounds really weird, but my dad, I guess.
No, that's not weird.
Kind of who we expected you to say.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, you know,
Your dad's texted me. He wanted me to ask you that question. So
no, I would say my dad is definitely my pulling hero because, you know, growing up, it was always, you know, he was gone a lot in the summer. We didn't go, or I didn't go as much when I got into like middle school because I was playing sports and stuff like that. But, you know, he would always call right away and tell us, you know, how he did or how the tractor was. And then when I started getting more involved and, you know, I watched him and going to Louisville, you know, it was always the best feeling going there and watching Dad. That actually, the people that sit next to us in our row of seats took a video of me when Dad got ready to pull. And it brought tears to my eyes because it's like, I'm very passionate about the sport. And, you know, it's always fun because Dad, you know, does so much for us to be able to go. And I know he gets very overwhelmed because there's just so much to do at home.
Well, I don't know how he did the state fair. I mean, I bet he slept for 2 freaking weeks after that. So.
Oh yeah, he was pretty tired after that one, but he definitely is the one I looked up to, still do to this day the most. You know, because at Wisner I couldn't get the tractor to light, and I could just see him out of the corner of my eye going like that, and I had it all the way down. I just punted the clutch and then away we went. It finally took off, and I was like, I don't know. And then I would say definitely like Gary Whiff too. You know, we call him Grandpa because we love him dearly, and he's like my second grandpa. But he always has some awesome things to say, and he always tries to help coach you up. You know, so you're not so nervous and you're not, you know, trying to fumble around getting, you know, yourself ready and everything. So that was always something cool to see. And I know he just celebrated 50 years of pulling too, you know, and he had his championship, and that was really cool to see out at Spencer.
That's awesome.
Yeah, a lot of experience there for sure. Did you get that video, Jason?
No, I think you're just going to have to post that on the Facebook page.
Oh, okay.
You're 1 for 2 though, Ron. That's better than the banquet. That's still. I've been picking on him a little bit, Burgundy, about that because that's what I do to Ron. I keep him humble. We did share the Mark Ulmer Light Super video. That was the world debut of it tonight. But what was meant, right, Ron?
Yeah, a couple weeks late, but
hey, still a debut. Still a debut. Well, Burgundy, anybody else you want to thank or comment on or tell me how pretty I am or anything before you leave here tonight, Burgundy?
No, I thank Mom and Dad, you know, my brothers, my fiance, Ryan, And
You
I
really
find,
do like him. You really do like him, don't you?
yeah, I guess.
I get it.
But also, I'd like to thank all the sponsors that help make Outlaw what we are. Seeing it grow how it has the last couple of years has just been phenomenal. Schaefer's Oil, Super Clean, Eco Tuning, all those guys at Case IH. It's been so much fun getting to meet a lot of them people. Like Schaefer Dave, I got to actually talk to him at the banquet, and his group, and it was a pleasure to meet them, and I can't wait for next summer to get to know them even more. And the Super Clean, we got to meet them at State Fair. They're super, super, super sweet people. Getting them parked was that was entertainment within itself, being at the gate. Just thank you, Kurt, for always helping push us young guns, now to get, and Dave and Ron for getting us out there. And thank you, Jason, for always promoting pulling and, getting it back to where it was, back in the day when everybody was just mesmerized, by it. Cause we still all are, and we're in it.
Right.
We're all memorized.
We love it.
Yeah, absolutely.
We absolutely love it. Well, Bergie, you're an awesome guest. You're an awesome person, and we're proud to have you as a young gun and as a member. And if you ever need anything, just pick up the phone. So I don't have Clint Medding money, but I'll figure out a way. So
if I ever need bailed out of jail, I'll call you first.
Yep. And I'll borrow the money from Medding, and then I'll have him pay me back. So
Okay.
but you make
Thanks
sure
for all
you
the
send
work
him
you do on
make sure you send him a card for the banquet to say I need you here every year. So that's important.
Okay.
He'll like that.
He'll feel like, oh my gosh.
Yeah, once
we appreciate
him
you,
and Lauren
Burgundy.
Paulson, like we
work
said
you
on the
do on
show
that
last week,
scholarship
Ron
program.
said, Ron said if Lauren Paulson and Clint Medding are bidding, just get out of the way. It's not gonna work.
Yes, that's for sure. And I can't thank them two enough. They were two of the highest people of the night. And, I can't thank them enough, especially Lauren being in our class. It's always nice to have the support from, everybody.
Yep. And then what was I gonna say? You had five scholarship winners this year, right?
Yep.
Okay. So and it's Daly's birthday today, right?
Yep. We call, so my dad likes to call her the Daily Double.
The Daily Double.
He needs to build another tractor and call it the Daily Double.
Yeah. That's
That'd
awesome.
That'd be cool.
That would be cool.
But yes, happy birthday, Daily. Hope you had a great day.
So, well, Burgundy, Ron, do you got anything else, boss?
Nope, that's it for me, buddy. Burgundy, thanks for coming on. Thanks for all the work you do on the scholarship program. We sure appreciate it.
Thank you for having me, you guys.
Anytime, Burgundy, just let us know.
Okay.
Thanks you,
Burgundy. Have a good night.
Thank you.
Mr. Stone.
Yes, sir.
There's a press release. And it's not about you being arrested in Nebraska or wherever that was.
That wasn't me. You
that was the other announcer.
with another announcer.
Yeah, well, you guys, they run together.
He's probably watching.
He hasn't actually. Well, it's one of the Facebook users. It is. So, there's Paulson's Berg. You're doing an amazing job. So, two great guests tonight, Ron.
Yep, that's a great show. We ran long, but wow, yeah, there was a lot of people tuned in tonight. That's awesome.
They have to listen to you all summer. When Ulmer said, "I don't drive my brother's tractor because it hurts my ears," I was going to say something like, "Well, you still go to polls and Ron announces," but I pick on you too much as it is, Ron.
No, you're good. You're great.
I know. I do what I want anyway. Oh, a little bit of truth to that. So here we go, Ron. Is it on the screen?
Yeah. Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
I only got one screen, so I'm back to old school in it tonight. So.
Yep. As of yesterday, this just happened 24 hours ago. So,
what classes do? So I just want to explain it to everybody. This is like the NTPA having a region. This is like PPL having a state level, like Badger State is. The Heartland division is going to be that. It's a sanctioning. It's now sanctioned by the Outlaw Truck and Tractor Pulling Association. There's still going to be the Heartland division. Because I saw some of the comments on Facebook, like, well, where do I pay my points money to? No, the Heartlands are still going to be the Heartlands. They're just going to have the backing of the Outlaws. So
right,
and it helps grow that brand.
Our insurance, and there'll be a division of the Outlaws.
Yep.
To give you just an idea what kind of classes they have, I mean,
Yes.
they have a modified tractor class. They have an econo mod tractor class.
Ron, I don't mean to interrupt you because I do it all the time, but this time I'm actually like sorry. Do they have a Facebook page or is it I can bring up?
They do. They have a website called heartlandpulling.com.
Let me find that.
If you want to go there.
I'm gonna pull the press release down, Ron, if that's okay.
Sure.
I think I am. Here I am. Okay, keep talking, Stud. Give me a second.
Yeah, I'm going to the Facebook page. You know, the Heartland Pulling Series is the Facebook page.
Okay.
Go check that out. Yeah, they have diesel pickup classes. You know, light limited pro classes. They're based out of Bridgeport, Nebraska. They do a lot of stuff out west. They actually do some stuff out in western Kansas, and Colorado as well. Greg Lucetto is
he has a tractor, doesn't he?
He does.
Which I thought I've heard that name before.
It's called Arclight.
Okay.
The name of that tractor. I've gone on their website just to give you a list of their classes. Econo mod tractors, modifieds, light modified tractors, limited pro stock pickups, limited pro tractors, light limited supers, super fields, pro street pickups are the classes that the Heartland series offers. Some of their tractors come and pull with us, you know, from time to time. Like I'm looking at one of the mods here, a turbine that actually came out and pulled at Wisner this year with us. Some of their diesel pickups are going to come pull with us this summer, I think. Some.
Yeah, that was one question I had for you, Ron. If I was a promoter and I wanted diesel trucks, could I, you know, I guess as long as there's not a conflict, that would work, right?
Yeah, we're actually going to have some diesel pickups back out this summer. And we've got quite a few hooks lined up for those guys, the 3.0 diesel pickups. So we're pretty excited.
So they are 3.0. I wasn't sure if they were 3.0 or 2.6. So
and yeah, the Heartland series has some of those 3.0 pickups that are going to complement the pickups we already have on tap. So should be a really good class for 2022 with the Outlaws, that diesel pickup class. So we're pretty excited about it. Excited about this Heartland Pulling series, this region here with the Outlaws. It's we've talked to Greg here for a couple of years about doing something like this, and it's just kind of all come together now, and everything's lining up and got all our ducks in a row, and it's happening. So,
well, from an exposure point of view, it's going to take them to the next level. You know what I mean? And it's great. That's great because that's a section of the country that's underserved for pulling fans. You know what I mean? I mean, I know that the Outlaws get out there as much as they can, but they're still pretty, you know, eastern Nebraska, you know, northern Missouri, Iowa. I mean, just if you know, a core, I know there's more than that. There's some Texas and stuff like that. But I think if you went down the schedule, I think you'd find 70 or 80% of those classes are there. So this is a great addition to the Outlaw lineup. So and it you know gets the brand out there even more. So
yeah, pretty exciting stuff happening right now with the Outlaws. And this being one of them. So yeah, we've got some other announcements to make in the future, but we're still working on some things. And yeah, we're happy to have the Heartland Pulling Series partner up with us for 2022 and beyond. So going to be a great summer next year. Going to be a great season.
What's the coolest thing that Mark Ulmer said tonight that you didn't know about him already?
It was some of the tractors that he'd worked on, some of the big names that you know that he had palled around with and worked on their machines. He was just talking. It was just going down the list, and those are the ones he probably remembers. I'm sure there's some names he left out that we would probably be sitting here with our mouths wide open. You know.
Yeah. Like, what?
I was having flashbacks from being a kid, you know, reading pulling magazines and some of the names he was saying. I was like, oh my God, that's super cool. So had Doug Meisingers to several tracks like stopping at Mark's shop. So that's why I was thinking about, you know, his junk pile behind his shop. Was thinking there's stories and all that junk back there. It'd be cool to just sit there and talk about, you know, what happened to some of that stuff and where it came from.
I've talked to Dustin Hart. When they dyno, they just pull up an extra dumpster and they just get after it. And that's, we had Van Hazley on Let's Grow Pulling last night. He says, my job is R&D on the track. I try to tell Patty all the time, I'm here to break stuff. So it was fun.
Yeah, that was an amazing interview. We probably could have went longer with Mark.
Oh, yeah, we could have.
That's one of those.
We can bring him
we need
back.
to have it in the shop.
Yeah,
Mark.
Yeah, no, that's one of the ones we want to sit down and get the camera and just talk for hours.
Absolutely.
It'd be fun to see those old puller magazines and like your hero card that you talked about, Ron. There's stuff like that people find in boxes. Somebody sent us a picture of an old pedal tractor that they found the other day that they had as a kid. It was a little case tractor with a short stack on it. It was super cool. So I want to thank everybody for, engaging with the Facebook page and answering those questions. I'm encouraging promoters to read through some of the, the promoter type questions, and then just keeping the Facebook page active in the off season. I think it's important. Ron and I have been talking about that, and the question of the day and different things like that. If you guys have videos, photos on your phones, just message them to the Outlaw page, and Ron and I will post them. We're just looking for content. And if you're working on stuff in the shop, post it. Send it to us, because we want to.
Oh, absolutely.
We want to share it with the Outlaw family. I think we want to see more of that come to the page. Like some of the stuff you take for granted, just working on them in the shop, not everybody gets to see that. Just, if you have something split in half, send us a picture of it. Not everybody sees a tractor split in half. So Mark Olmer is still awake. Yeah, I like
and
that.
fans love that. I mean, me as
They
a
do.
fan, I love that, to see those updates on, especially when something's being changed, something's being improved, or, switching classes or what have you. We love that as fans, just to see that, where the tractor's at right now, what part of the rebuild is happening and what's going on with it. So yeah, that's stuff that we might take for granted.
We do. Well, we
definitely
do.
want to see it. Fans
We
want to
do,
see
and
it.
that's what Tony, the guy who works on my tractor, is like, you record everything, leave me alone. And at the dyno, I had three cameras set up at the dyno, and he's like, you're crazy. But people, those get more view than it going down the track. So
Yeah, we look forward to. Yeah, please send that stuff in. That'd be awesome. To put that on there.
it's super easy through Messenger, guys. Just send it up, and then I'm going to get an Instagram page going here when I get time one of these days, and I'm going to link it to the Facebook page, and then because a lot of the younger kids are on the Instagram now, and I'm going to have one of the young guns take care of it, actually, Ron. So
yeah, we have an Instagram page. So
we do.
Yep.
Well, I did not know that.
Yep. You learned something tonight, sir.
I just set one up for. Are we posting on it regularly? Do you know, Mister?
Yes, I've been posting things on there. A lot of the same stuff I put on Facebook, I put on there. I might be a little behind here.
Is it Outlaw Pulling?
Yes.
Okay, yeah, cool. There it is. Sorry about that. I will not make an Instagram page because we already have one.
All our champions pages that I've been putting up, all that information on there. And of course, we link up all our sponsors and all our pullers on there as well. So
Ulmer, dyno, what's that? He gives me crap all that. He's never dynoed once in his life, and he can kick your he's always. I tell him, I love Ulmer. I always say, you have forgotten more than I'll ever learn. So I love that. In the comments is the link to the Instagram, so if people could go click on that and go like our Instagram page, that would be awesome.
Yeah, just the story he was telling tonight of how he got Eleanor down the track at Manila was interesting.
Yeah. Very few people could do all those things that he was doing. I mean, leaning it out, pushing the clutch back in. I mean, it's just he's the man. He's
done those things a few times, I think, maybe.
Yeah, more than once. More than once. Yeah, cool. The Instagram looks good. We got to get more followers, people. We're at 286. We need 1,000. I want 1,000 in the next hour. Like QVC, Ron. Work it for it. So.
That would be amazing if we could get that. That'd be great. Well,
show everybody what it looks like real quick before I let you go, Ron.
Sure.
So that's our Instagram page Ron was talking about. So got all the points champs on there.
have some videos on there, some of our promo videos and such on there as well.
Yeah, I love it. I'm glad I asked that tonight because I really was going to make one. I would have felt so stupid. Kevin Miller, Temptation pulling team doesn't. I know theirs either. Yet they give the Cheezic team fits. Yes, they do. Yes, they do.
Yeah,
Well, Ron, I'm going to play Mark's video to celebrate his points championship one more time, and then I'm gonna go to bed. So
Very nice. Thank you everybody for tuning in. Thank you, Burgundy Freeze. Thank you, Mark Ulmer.
what are you thinking for next week, boss? Can anybody let us know?
I'll let you know tomorrow.
Okay.
I'd like to do it the way we're doing it here. Bring a legend and a young gun on in the same show.
Yeah.
If we continue it that way, I know we got kind of enamored with Mark Olmer's stories and such, and kept going. But
You can't stop. You can't stop that. Yeah.
Blame us.
Nope. And the numbers are still well over 100, so it's not like it's down to 30. If it's just you and I talking, that's when the numbers go down, Ron. So. Okay, bud. Good night. I'm gonna play Mark's video, and I'm killing it. So
thanks everyone for tuning in. We'll see you next week.
we appreciate you. Send money. So have a good night.